Welcome to the Reseller Niche Podcast, a show for e-commerce buyers and sellers where we investigate unique categories of items being bought and sold and show how research equals knowledge equals profit. And now your hosts, Russ and Mo.
Howdy, folks. We are back with the Reseller Niche Podcast. Usually I have Russ with me, but he's having technical difficulties in Florida, so I can't ask him what the weather's like. Well, I know what the weather's like. It's bad. But he'll be on, hopefully, a little bit later. But today, who we have with us is a super experienced reseller on eBay, Etsy, merch, plus more. Margaret Collier, Texas Gal Treasures on YouTube. How's it going?
Great. How are you?
Good, thanks. So let's, for anyone that may not have seen your channel or your Facebook group, can you give us a little backstory on how you got into reselling and merch?
Sure. Well, I actually taught elementary school for 14 years.
Okay.
And then when I was able to stay home with my boys, I started going to garage sales and picking things up to resell. That was maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
And then it just slowly grew and grew and grew. And so now I've got a couple of groups on Facebook, got my YouTube channel, have a group called International League of Thrifters, and then also a group called Jewelry Lovers and Sellers.
Nice. So what I always like to do is we always kind of try and track it back to the beginning of where it started, maybe even before you were reselling, just kind of thinking about that. How do you think that started? Was it something you saw or something you just happened to have around the house? Or?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's not exactly well, it's kind of it's sad a little bit. You know, my grandmother passed away.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah. But she was a huge collector. And so it just started from there. It was like some of this stuff, we took a lot of stuff to donate, but some of it was so nice. I knew it was really valuable. And so I started, my family took the pieces they wanted, but then there were still like, she collected hat pin holders, sugar shakers, china, fine china, figurines, like really nice stuff. So I slowly started going through selling things in her collection as well as picking things up on my own.
Oh, wow. So would you say that some of those things are stuff that you still do now, or is it you kind of expanded from that or grew from those items?
Well, I still do because we still have a storage locker with things of hers in there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was a lot. It's a lot of stuff. And I had to start branching out because I could only do it for so long before it would start really upsetting me,
Okay.
So I had to go like, okay, now I'll list some things I found and then I'll come back. But I think the good thing about it is that it kind of gives me a little bit more knowledge on certain areas that I may not have otherwise have known about because of her.
Yeah.
And the things she collected, like Fenton glass and fine porcelain, china, things like that. So,
did you ever? I mean, I hope this isn't a touchy subject, but were these items that you either kind of bought together, possibly, or you talked about, or she showed you?
Yeah, I mean, she had her house. It was, all displayed. And when we would travel, go to antique stores and things like that. And she would see some hat pin holder she didn't have, or some sugar shaker, or, so she could point out like, oh, this is nicer glass. This Fenton glass, this cranberry glass is made like, so and as when you're with somebody like that, as a kid, like whatever,
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So it kind of sunk in on a certain level, and then it kind of built an interest in you. Nice.
Yeah.
And then I guess moving on from that a little bit, where would you say that you started, I guess, reselling first? Was it like eBay? I'm not sure if Etsy or where was it?
Yeah, I started on Etsy.
Okay.
So usually everybody starts on eBay and then goes to Etsy, but I started on Etsy because I knew I could do a lot of vintage items there.
Okay.
And then slowly, I don't know, eBay was kind of scary to me at the time. And so it took me a while, and then I started cross-posting things on eBay and Etsy when I could. And
Okay. Because Etsy, to me, I'm a real newbie. I think I have 25 items. I put them up in the last 3 months. Yeah. Most of them were cross-listed items, so I'm a little bit nervous about that. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But I wanted to. The whole idea of Etsy is kind of intriguing to me. It's kind of more a social media based reselling platform, if I should say, since you kind of push it yourself. Could
Mm-hmm.
you, when you're starting on that, could you kind of elaborate on how you got into just kind of your first few listings?
Yeah, I mean, so I listed when I first started on Etsy, they have something built within Etsy, if they still do, I'm not sure, where you could join teams.
Okay.
And I've heard that might be changing, or it has changed, because I don't do it anymore. But I would go in and do a lot of join promotional teams. And a lot of times, like we do that now on our Facebook group, where we help pin each other's items or promote each other's items. Same kind of thing, but now doing it over there. But when I first got started, I was definitely participating a lot in that, just to get my site out there and seen. I don't do it as much anymore.
Okay.
But yeah, I did for sure when I got started.
Okay. And I'm sure Etsy's changed a lot since the beginning. Has it kind of tied in more to like Facebook groups and, I don't know, Instagram and Pinterest? Are there ways it kind of ties in so you can advertise your items?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about like paid advertisement through, I mean, they do have like where you can do paid promotion through Etsy. But then, yeah, you can pin them and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, since you said you started on Etsy and then you kind of, I guess, moved on to eBay as well. How was that transition?
It was bumpy for me. I was so used to, the platform on Etsy is, I mean, now it takes longer for me to list on Etsy than eBay, but the choices when you first get onto Etsy, there's only so many things to do. When you look at eBay, there are so many windows and tabs and menus and things that when I first started, it was just a bit overwhelming. Like, which screen am I in?
It's funny you say that, because when I went to list on Etsy, maybe I came thinking about it from the opposite mindset. I saw these categories. I don't know how many are, but it's a lot less than eBay, a ton less. So I was like, okay, so how do I list this in this category or this category? Because it sounds like your items were kind of tailor-made for Etsy.
Mm-hmm.
I guess for somebody, maybe this is segueing a little bit, someone that maybe has something that's in between categories, how does that work?
I would just go for whatever the closest thing is.
Okay. So people seem to find it then.
Yeah. Okay. And then sometimes when you type in a title, like what your item is, Etsy will say, oh, it can go in this category too. So sometimes it'll pop up, your item is in these two categories, where they just want to tackle that. And that didn't used to be that way. But
Okay. Because Etsy's intriguing to me. I've really fallen behind. I tried cross-listing. There isn't a Joe Lister type, Amazon to eBay. There's a couple other pretty expensive softwares for that. I haven't really used them though. So how does that work in terms of cross-listing? Do you kind of just have to keep track of them, or how do you do that?
Yeah. I mean, just now, when I first did it, it took time to get everything over on both sites. But now, just whenever I list on Etsy first, and then I take, just basically copy and paste over. Because the title on Etsy is like way longer, way more characters. So it's easier for me to take it and put it on eBay and then knock out some words, than it is to try to fill it out later.
Okay. Yeah. And then have you found that, has there ever been a time, that everyone worries, oh no, it's going to sell in here, and then I'm, at 2 a.m, I'm going to wake up and then it's sold in the other place too. Has that ever happened? Or
I think it's maybe happened one time, and then maybe a couple times I've forgotten to take an item down off of a platform that's sold. But my phone cha-chings for both sites, so everybody in the family knows as soon as I get it cha-ching, I pick up the phone and go straight to the other site and take it down. And then, I mean, unfortunately, if that happens, then I would cancel the sale on the Etsy site. Because there's not the kind of defects. I don't know if they call it defects anymore, but you don't get that, problem for canceling sales like you do on eBay.
Okay, that makes sense. And then, so I guess that's a tip for anyone that's a little bit nervous about that. I mean, not that you want to take one over the other, but if you have to, maybe pick canceling the Etsy one over the eBay one if you have to.
I mean, it's not ideal either way, but
yeah. I guess if you have to choose. Okay. And then let's, what other types of items, maybe at eBay and Etsy, because we talked about a few, what other kind of items have you sold?
Okay. So some of the things I really like selling are like vintage wrapping paper, things I can get cheap and sell for a lot. I'm not really into electronics and video games and things like that. I just can't figure them out, I guess.
Okay.
But, craft kits, like embroidery kits, wrapping paper. I'm looking around my room. I'm sitting in here, jewelry, toys, things like that.
Okay. And how did you get, that's interesting. Vintage wrapping paper. Where did you even think about buying that?
Actually, I just stumbled on, I was at an auction, and there was like a big giant, kind of like one of those tubs you would put your Christmas stuff in to put up in the garage or something.
Okay.
It was full of wrapping paper and tissue paper and things. And honestly, when I bought it, when I bid on it, I thought, I can use this, like to wrap things up when I ship it out.
Yeah.
Because it had tissue paper and things, which I use. So, okay, I'll get that. But then I got it home. I spent $12 on the whole big tub, right? And then when I got it home, I started looking up some of this sealed vintage wrapping paper. Some of it was going for like $16 a sheet,
Wow.
It's crazy. And it's flat and just stores it flat. And so easy to list, ship, everything. So.
Okay. I have heard of similar items, maybe not wrapping paper. People seem to find like at local auctions and stuff like that, or maybe garage sales. Have you seen, where would you find your best stuff, you say?
Generally, I'm a garage sailor for sure. I love the hunt.
Yeah. And you're in Texas, right?
I am.
Okay. So what's the garage sale season? I'm assuming it's pretty long. What's the season like?
Basically, it's from January to January.
Oh, wow.
Then, I'm in Houston, the Gulf Coast area. So somebody was joking with me yesterday about my coat. Like, I've worn my winter coat. I wore it one day last year, and I've had it since college.
Well, nice problem to have.
So, it's few and far between in the colder months, but it's still, you can still find some,
Okay. And then is there a variation that you see? Obviously, you're going to see Christmas items at the end of the year and that. Do you see a variation in stuff that you see at garage sales like they do in retail stores?
Oh, like the variety, you mean?
Yeah, the stuff you'll find. People kind of tailor make that or.
No, it's, like today I saw Christmas stuff. Nice. I was out today, Chris. What did I buy? I bought like a golf thing. I bought some jewelry, Bible. What else? Just
everything.
Just a little bit of everything. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool. And then, would you say that's? You're selling on eBay and Etsy. Do you find stuff for both at garage sales, or do you sometimes go to like thrift stores or other places too?
Yeah, I do. I've scaled back on the thrift store some. One, because my workroom got, was like caving in on me with all my stuff. And I'm making that switch to where I'm doing more smalls and jewelry now.
Okay.
So I still have a lot of stuff I need to list that are bigger items, but I just couldn't donate or throw them in a garage sale because I just know them. I don't look at them and see like, oh, there's a box of Legos. I look at it and see, oh, there's $20.
That's a good way to see it, actually. If you see it as money, then you're going to react a little faster, I think.
Yeah.
Nice. And then let's talk about good garage sale finds. I know you talked about the vintage wrapping paper. Anything recently that stood out like, wow, that was sitting there, nobody saw it, and I just found it?
Well, yeah, this was actually from last year. I know that your viewers can't see it, but I'll hold it up so you can see it.
Okay.
So I got this at a garage sale. This is a 10-carat in diamond ring.
Wow.
That I got for 75 cents at a garage sale. So that's one thing and I just a couple weeks ago, no, it was last weekend. I just did a haul for it. I went to this garage sale and bought all of the ladies' jewelry. I just said, can I have it all for $50? I brought it home and had, 14 karat gold earrings and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, those have already sold. So
the stuff is out there. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, we're talking about jewelry here. I know you don't do many thrift stores anymore. Are there any other places other than garage sales, other than thrift stores, that you sometimes find jewelry type items?
Like just basically estate sales and garage sales. And I do the jewelry jars. I don't have one I can grab. Like I'll go to the thrift stores and it's like a jar. It's the bag like full of jewelry, and I find sometimes they're duds, but my rule of thumb is I don't buy it unless I see something in the jar that I can make my money back on. Anything else is extra. So
anything else is gravy. Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
So let's talk about how, I guess, jewelry translate to eBay compared to Etsy. Is it more, I mean, where would you prefer to list if you had to pick one of the two? And then
Well, I prefer Etsy, even though things have been selling a little more on eBay. But my strategy is a little different than some other people's. Like I'm a list it and forget it kind of person. You know, I'll list it high because generally people on Etsy will pay more. They tend to. So I price the same on eBay.
Okay.
With best offer. So, you know, I take best offers and it tends to sell over there more frequently because of that, I think.
Gotcha. And then, are you kind of, what is it? I'm blanking out on that. A good till canceled or is it kind of, okay.
Yeah, I do good till cancel. Every now and then I'll pull things to try an auction. I don't have a whole lot of, I pulled like 10 or 20 things last month, I think, to auction. I think 3 of them sold. So.
Yeah, with auctions, I'm kind of the same way. I think I had, every time they send you those emails, you know, list 500 auctions, blah, blah, blah. And this week I'll try and I'll get like one sale or something.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So, okay, now I see where you're coming from. So I guess in terms of, I guess, jewelry type stuff, what's kind of the length of time it usually takes to sell? Or does it kind of really depend on the piece?
It depends, yeah. If it's something that's like James Avery is something I like to sell, and it'll go a little bit quicker, especially if it's a retired piece. Silver, things that are, you know, of course, silver or gold that are marked will go a little bit quicker. Yeah, I mean, it just kind of varies. But then you never know. Like I got this piece, I was like, just let me see if this will sell. Whatever. It was like plastic red, white, and blue beads with this like metal American flag. It was like one of those stretchy bracelets, and I was just like, let's just try it. That thing sold like that. I mean, it was $7.99. It wasn't a ton, but it was just like, wait a minute, this costs like pennies out of this jewelry jar, you know? So
you never know, really, I guess.
You never know, like, okay. Yeah.
That's cool. And then I guess when you're talking about like eBay and Etsy, I mean, when you talk about Etsy, you always think about custom pieces. Do you have any pieces that you kind of say you either make custom or you kind of alter so they're kind of custom?
No, I don't really do that. I mean, we in the jewelry group, that's something that we'll be talking about going forward later, because sometimes you'll find pieces that, you know, like a brooch is missing a stone, and we've seen people make art out of all these brooches that are just like missing stones and things, so, and sell that like it's a Christmas tree or whatever. I don't even know.
Okay.
We looked at that, but we haven't dug into that too much in the group yet.
Okay. And then we've talked about Etsy, we talked about eBay. And were there any other places that you sold, like some people sell locally, some other sites that you could sell any of your items? I guess we'll focus on jewelry for now.
Yeah, there is a local site. Well, I think they have it around the country, but it's kind of localized. It's called Garage Sale. And so it's online, it's connected with Facebook, but it's not a Facebook selling group. It has its own app and all that. But I've sold, like at the thrift store, I found some, it's called Kendra Scott. I don't know, this Kendra Scott necklace and earrings, which go for good money. And I got them for like $3 at the thrift store and flipped them on a local site. Cause I was like, oh, I could list them on eBay and wait. But I knew it was really hot locally. So I sold them, you know, I think $75 locally, you know, just really quick.
And what was that place again?
Garage Sale. It's like Garage Sale, but with a V, like a virtual garage sale.
Oh, okay. Is that an app or a website, or is that?
Yeah, they have an app and a website, and then you have to sign in. Like they have communities. Like, so in my area, there's one that's called like Just for Mommies. There's one that's like for our county. So you can sign into all the different communities around you.
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we've talked about a lot about Etsy and eBay, and I know you're huge on merch. Yes, because I was just watching a video yesterday. So, I mean, we're talking about custom, and merch is, you know, at least, you know, it's very custom. So I know there's rumors. We'll jump forward and then we'll jump back a bit.
Okay.
There's rumors about stuff that they might be coming out with that you could sell, not just T-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
For anyone out there that doesn't know merch on Amazon. Actually, why don't we start with that? If someone, you could explain what merch on Amazon is, and then we'll kind of move on from there.
Sure. So basically, Merch by Amazon is a print on demand through Amazon. Amazon's hosting it, and it's one of those like it sounds too good to be true kind of deal, where all you have to do once you're accepted is you upload a graphic, and then once it sells, like you upload it, you create the listing for it, and when somebody buys the shirt on the Amazon platform, they print it, they ship it, they mail it out, and you get the royalties. So it's like free money.
Nice. And then right now it's t-shirts, and the rumor is that it's going to be expanding to this, that, and the other. Do you have any ideas about what that might be, or any timelines for that, or is it kind of still kind of open to interpretation?
It is. It's totally speculative. Yeah, I would love to see tank tops or hoodies or mugs or whatever. Anything.
Okay. Because the reason I was asking, because my whole theory is they kind of, Amazon, the way they kind of see other sites, so they maybe looked at Etsy and they've looked at other sites that do more custom items. So I'm wondering, would there ever be, I know people are talking about cups and mugs, but they have Amazon customs and they have Amazon merch, and is that what they're thinking possibly, or is it kind of... nobody knows.
I mean, I know Teespring, I heard that Teespring was having some problems, and that was another print on demand site.
Yeah.
They did a lot of, they did duvet covers and mugs and leggings and all kinds of stuff. So I'm wondering if there's going to be some kind of snatch up or something. That's just speculation.
Yeah, I guess we never know until it happens. They'll announce it tomorrow, big opening of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So I know you're all over the place online, all over social media. So I'm going to let you talk about a few of the places you're at. If you could start with your main YouTube channel first and kind of explain that a little.
So I have a YouTube channel, Texas Gal Treasures, and I put up videos almost every day, just ranging from tutorials to unboxings, talk about jewelry, talk about merch. I mean, mostly it's a love me or leave me kind of deal. Because I'm notorious for just chit-chatting. I do a lot of live and chit-chat, but there's information in there, But yeah, my pre-recorded ones, I try to stay on topic. That's the one critique I get most often is get to the point.
I'm with you. I ramble on about this. I'm off here, and then people wonder what I'm talking about. So I've seen your videos; they're good. So don't even worry about it. But you do have another group that's coming out, and maybe people haven't heard of that yet. So do you want to elaborate a little bit on that?
Oh, the jewelry group?
Yes.
So yeah, I have a jewelry group on Facebook. We just moved to a paid group, which I kind of went back and forth about doing it, but I have a lot of really big ideas of which we've already started, where we're doing a lot more tutorials in the group, a lot more sharing, a lot more collaborations and things like that. So this month, I'm playing teacher. I get to play teacher again, I'm taking one thing this month is amber. So each week I'm breaking it down, here's how you identify it. And then the next week it'll be here's how you find fakes, or here's how you, and then the next week is, so each week's here's how you list it. Here's how you, so every month we're going to be breaking it down, something big. And then throughout the month, we'll have other smaller things let's focus on this costume jewelry brand or things like that. So when people go out, that might be in the back of their head, back of their mind rather.
Gotcha. Yeah. And that's already started right now.
Yeah. And I'm playing with closing it off for a little bit because we're really starting to gel as a group, and then opening it up for a little bit more. It's pretty cheap. It's $1 a week. It's $5 a month. It's so cheap, right? So
just to cover your basics. Yeah. No. I think it's a good idea because our channel is called the Reseller Niche Podcast. And this is you're exactly talking about niche, because I think there's a lot of groups out there, which are great groups. They're kind of overview groups. Yeah. So I think there's so many people out there. If you can kind of hone in on one thing, it's really going to help.
And our group was when I first started it grew to over 1,000 members. It was really huge, which is awesome. But it was you were lost in the crowd. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I really wanted to focus on the people that wanted to be there, wanted to learn. And yeah, I know, I hear it all the time. There's so many free groups out there. I'm like, great, awesome. Mine isn't one of them. I don't know what else to say.
I think the people that say, join what fits you, I think that's exactly what it is. If you want to, do it. If you don't, then that's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. And I really want to thank Margaret for coming on, but we always try and end with, we have a little saying, research equals knowledge equals profit. And we've already got a ton of information from you. Is there any one thing you could say to somebody that's maybe looking into jewelry or looking into starting on eBay or Etsy that might help?
Yeah, I would say start small. Start with something you know. Like I started with men's accessories, cufflinks, tie tacks, tie bars, collar pins. And then if you can get them cheap, 50 cents, $1, and then you can flip them. Start small like that, and then slowly branch out.
Okay. And where can people find you? I know we talked about the Facebook groups. What's the best way to contact you?
So you can contact me. I'm on Facebook. I have the Facebook page, Texas Gal Treasures. And then I have a website now too, texasgaltreasures.com.
Yep. I looked at it yesterday. It's very neat. Nice.
Thanks. Yeah.
So we really, really want to thank Margaret for coming in. We're going to have you come back, maybe do an update after, a couple months or something and see how things are going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Definitely. And then we just wanted to thank everyone for listening to the Reseller Niche Podcast. For Russ and I, we'll talk to you guys next time. Have a good one.
Thank you for listening to the Reseller Niche Podcast. Show notes and social media links are located at resellerniche.com. Please like and subscribe to us on iTunes.